I was at art school and I was bored, and I was on the phone to my agent and I just said, well, maybe I'll just start auditioning again. She said, oh, this is really, really cool project that Sheen Baig is casting about Hanna. And I'd seen the film and I was like, oh my God, that would be so cool. I'll never get that part, come on. I did a bunch of auditions, I worked my arse off, and I got the part and I'm over the moon, and it's been the most incredible journey. So thank you.
And from my point of view, we saw hundreds of different Hannas from all over Europe. That was the way we did it, because we thought we might go with a German actress or a Scandinavian one, given the accent and the provenance of the character. But then when Esme's little self-take came in, there was just this quality that was undeniable, a kind of purity, simplicity of style, and a wonderful ear for the language, which is something as a writer, obviously I really cherish. So it was a no-brainer.
So we saw hundreds and hundreds of actresses, and then we brought, I think it was the top 5 or top 6, flew them out to London from many countries, and Esme was one of them. And then in addition to doing the scenes we had asked them to prepare, we said, please pick one scene from the pilot script that you would like to do. And that was really revelatory of like what scenes people chose, and taught us a lot about how they think and who they are. And Esme chose, of course, the hardest scene, right? With like where she has to speak multiple languages, and she came and just nailed it, like as if she was fluent in everything.
You were half asleep.
I remembered one of my when I got the part, and I said, "Oh, are you guys going to bleach my hair? Because I've got dark hair, and Saoirse's got such light hair." And they were like, "No, we're going to keep your dark hair." So that was really cool, and I think like I work quite instinctually. I don't prepare a lot when I'm doing. I do prepare, but I like to see how things are in the room, and so I think, with respect to that, you're just working on instinct. And I think Saoirse, I don't know how she works, but if she's doing the same, then we're different people, so our instincts are going to be different, and so it's different.
It's also a different story. I mean, the TV series begins because a young woman who's been brought up by her father in a forest reaches a moment of adolescence where she can't stand it anymore. It's completely different. It's a different story. It's not what happens in the film. And I mean, no one seems. That's a really big difference. It all comes from character, and it comes from her decision. I am going to break past the barriers that my father has created for me, and I'm going to go out into the world and find it.
But I love this idea of what Sarah was saying as well, is that when you like something, like I really loved the film, and I really love Saoirse. She's so cool. When you like something, you almost don't want to copy it. Why would you do that? Because that feels disrespectful.
Where did you grow up?
Why? Do you think I'm weird?
I think you're wonderful.
And what do I get
It's time.
for my pain?
Where's Hanna? Do you know how dangerous she is?
I love working with women. I'm just going to say it. I do. There are questions that I can bring to them. There's a female sensibility that I think is unparalleled. No offense, David. And it was great because David wrote no offense, David, but he's a guy and he writes a coming of age story about a girl, which is brilliant. But obviously, me and Sarah have to take his stuff and go, as a girl, maybe it should be like this. And so that was really cool. Sorry, that sounds like I'm being disparaging of his work. I'm not at all. That's not my intention. But
we're women who have come of age or are still.
Do you know what I mean? Like stuff about getting your period or kissing a boy for the first time. This is stuff that, as an actor, I want to discuss with a woman. So it was great to be able to have Sarah there. Yeah, sorry. That
Amen to that. Yeah. I think I don't know if I brought this perspective because I'm a woman or just because of I am me, but it was really important to Esme and I to not just do the thing where you do the quote-unquote strong female lead and you take a girl and then you teach her to fight like a man and then watch her kill a bunch of people and that equals strong. We wanted to actually look at a deeper kind of female strength in this series. And so we were really attuned to what are the actual strengths of the female body and how would her father have trained her to actually, with her body that she's given, be able to take a grown man down, which means like, you go for the jugular and you kick him in the balls and you strike quickly and ruthlessly and then you get the fuck out, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in addition to that,
No one
I think
can cross me.
and the thing in addition to that, like a lot of times I think we hear the word strength and we think that means stoicism and sort of not giving into your emotions. But actually, I think one of the things that's so special about the way Esme has played Hannah is she brings such a beautiful vulnerability to the character. And I think when I'm thinking about if we're sort of redefining what female strength is, I think emotions are her superpower. I think feeling so deeply and being
Discovering feeling.
yeah, and discovering feeling.
Because you grow up with Eric is
Man, a few words, Eric. Your dad was not a
Eric.
talkative guy in that cave.
no.
Yeah.
There's that. What does she say when he said, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything"? That.
Oh, right. After she has her first almost kiss with a boy, right? When she meets Arvo, this Polish blogger in the woods, and he wants to touch her, and she tries asking her dad about it, he says, he's just a boy. It doesn't mean anything, and it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
for
Sorry,
her.
guys. You really need to change that. Doesn't mean anything. Thing. It means something.
It meant something to Hannah, and
meant
so it's
something
sort
to
of
Hannah.
heartbreaking.
So it's quite a
Yeah.
nice moment, that, because it's the first time you see this very powerful man suddenly become kind of like an emotional
awkward.
little
Like,
kid.
what am I supposed to
Yeah.
say?
And because Joel's quite a big guy and he likes being macho, and he wouldn't mind me saying that. But he's actually he's best when he's like that. He's a sweet guy, and he's best when he's young and he's little and vulnerable. I love watching him when he's like that. And to see such a big man suddenly become like a little bit like a kid going, "Oh, he didn't mean anything." Like it's really sweet.
So true though. Like, and these gender roles about how guys are supposed to be and how girls are supposed to be so mutually detrimental to all of us. I remember my dad's quite a sensitive guy, but watching a man cry is. Anyway, yeah.
And I've got two daughters who are exactly the right age for Hannah, and you learn a lot living with. There's a lot going on.
That's interesting to hear. When you were writing this project, even initially as a film, did you have them in mind?
No, not initially, but when the TV came, and knew I wanted to make it more centered. Yeah, because it was just, and they're friends. I mean, the girl Sophie that Rianne Barretto plays so wonderfully is basically based on my younger daughter's mate, who is this ball of fun, slightly neurotic energy. She's great, but she has that sort of same slightly too big for the room quality that Rianne decided to go for, which was really enjoyable.
I love Rianne's performance is just so amazing too, because she managed to be that ball of Sophie energy, but bring so much humanity to it as well. I think the thing I'm most excited about in this series are the performances, because I think we've taken the characters that sort of began their journey in the movie and done something very different here. These are fully human, fleshed out. We're not making a fairy tale the way Joe Wright did so beautifully in the movie. We decided, what would this be like if these were real people? And that's the story we wanted to tell.
I never watched a lot of action as a kid, but we were just talking about this earlier. We were trying to think of women that, and I think Gina Rowlands in John Cassavetes' film.
Woman Under
One of
the
those.
Influence, yeah. Yeah, love
It's,
Gina Rowlands. Yeah,
My
my biggest creative touchstone, I think, was Children of Men. I love that movie, and I love that there's just a sort of gritty naturalism in that film, and I think I wanted to bring some of that sensibility to the color palette and aesthetic of this movie.
I'm just quite a fan of. There's always been a good history of children in movies, young children, and so I like the feeling of tapping into that tradition. There's not really one particular one, but I feel there's the camera on a youngish person's face or young person's face. It does something really magical about, you almost see the person just growing and discovering the world as it happens in front of their eyes, which is they still have to be good actors. I mean, if you think about Jean-Pierre Léaud in Les 400 Coups, he's this little kid. He goes on to be a really famous actor, but Truffaut took him through that. I mean, I love that idea that, you take a kid who's like 8 and then you just film the same guy at 8, 13, 18, he did it. And for me, I always remember thinking, this is really special and beautiful. We're not quite doing that, but we are following a young person discovering the world.
I think
and
that's
that's a very beautiful thing.
That's what makes Hannah, I think, such an addicting show and sort of an addictive character to watch, is she was raised in the woods and wasn't exposed to the world at all. She has no shame. She has no inhibitions because society has never taught her those things. And I think when she goes out into the world, it's like Hannah sees us for who we really are because she has no expectations or judgments in some way. And so she sees us for how we are most beautiful. And she also sees, I think, our ugliness. And I think in that way, it's really fun to be on that journey with her.
Her name is Hanna. Bring her in alive.